Alright, welcome to Talking Investing. I'm Tom, and as always, this is not financial advice. Today I want to talk about Cipher Mining, stock ticker CIFR. Cipher announced their February operational update. There's some very interesting stuff going on there, and I also want to talk about Cipher in general because they are a little bit different than the rest of the Bitcoin miners, and I want to go through that. So we talk about Bitcoin and the Bitcoin miners all the time, so if you're new to this channel or you have not yet, please press the subscribe button and hit the notification bell if you want to get notified every time we put out a video. Also, if everybody could please smash the like button, I would appreciate that. And lastly, if you want to support the channel, you can hit the join button and become a member. We have a bunch of members-only content waiting for you, and it does help the channel a lot, so much appreciated to all our members. Okay, let's talk Cipher Mining. We're in the middle of the trading day right now, so currently Cipher is trading at $1.51. That leaves it with a $376 million market cap. So this is now the third largest market cap out of all the Bitcoin mining companies, but I will say it is a distant third. Riot and Marathon remain in first and second place as far as market cap goes, where they have been really all along. And in addition to that, they put themselves in the top 5 just as far as production goes. And you're going to see they had a better February than they did January, and by some regards, they really had a better February than everybody. So we're going to talk about that. Just for historical perspective, they're at about $370 million market cap right now. This company at one point, and this goes way back to September of 2021, so this was a year and a half ago, they were almost a $3 billion market cap, so they're down about 90% off of that, and we'll look at the charts later. I don't think that really represents a fair assessment of what's gone on. This was a very, very overinflated price, in my opinion, at that time. But I would say if you go to March of 2022, so that's just 1 year ago, they were still over a $900 billion company, so they still are down quite a bit. All right, let's look at February. Cipher Mining announces February 2023 operational update. Cipher Mining, a leading developer and operator of Bitcoin mining data centers, today announces its unaudited production and operations update for February of 2023. Okay, so number one, Bitcoin mined 398 Bitcoin. So that is their all-time record Bitcoin mined in a month. Really, this company just started mining Bitcoin a few months ago. If I look at January's results, they mined 343 Bitcoin. That was their all-time record. So I will tell you, we have not gotten operating results from everybody yet in February, but I believe this will be the only company that had a better February than January out of all the publicly traded Bitcoin mining companies, certainly out of the top 8 or 10 largest Bitcoin mining companies. And there's several reasons for that. One is February is the shortest month, so those 2 or 3 days actually do make a difference. In addition to that, with the most recent difficulty level adjustment, the difficulty level is now double what it was in November of 2021, and that is when Bitcoin hit its all-time high. Obviously, the price of Bitcoin is down a lot since then, so these are some of the reasons that the market caps have been shrinking. However, I do feel like a lot of these are oversold. Again, not financial advice, and we'll look at the charts more later. Okay, so Bitcoin mined 398. That was their all-time record. If we look at everybody's mining results from January of 2023, which was last month, you'll see Cipher was in 5th place with 343 Bitcoin mined. Bitfarms has already announced, and they mined less Bitcoin than Cipher, so I do believe Cipher will move up into this 4th place position. We do still need to get reporting back from some of the other Bitcoin miners before we finalize these numbers, but it looks like Cipher will be the only one out of these top miners that increased the number of Bitcoin they mined in a shorter, more difficult February, and they'll probably move from 5 to 4. So with that said, they're the 4th largest producer of Bitcoin, and they have the 3rd largest market cap. So this is a company that I feel like is flying under the radar. There's 5 or 6 other Bitcoin miners that are much, much, much more popular among retail investors. So I do think the profile of Cipher is going to be raised a lot in the year 2023 as they start to be in the top 3 or 4 or 5 on a consistent basis monthly. I think we're going to see a lot more attention directed at Cipher. So I have been doing a Cipher update every month for the last few months, and I do think they're going to get bigger and bigger. So Bitcoin sold 357. So they sold most of the Bitcoin that they mined. They're holding 465 Bitcoin as of February 28th, 2023. Deployed mining rigs, 48,500. Month-end operating hash rate is up to 5.2 exahash. So again, I just want to go back and compare that to last month. At the end of the month in January, they were at 4.3 exahash. They have the machines to get to 6.0 exahash, and I would expect that maybe next month they will be at their 6 exahash. Now, their plans get a little fuzzy from there. However, there is another part of this story. This is a page from their investor presentation that they put out in January of 2023, so just last month. What I wanted to point out is you'll see here, all-in electricity cost per Bitcoin, $4,571. So this number is yet to be verified through financial statements. So they have been touting this number all along. They say that they have a very, very low cost per Bitcoin, and they have long-term purchase agreements where they are locked in at these very low rates. So you're going to see this is another page, 5-year plus power purchase agreement with an average power price of 2.7 per kilowatt. So this is much, much lower than any other Bitcoin miner. If they can come in at $4,571, which is what they're representing, that will be half the cost of the next closest Bitcoin miner so far. So they've also put out this press release. And this was on February 23rd. This was a week ago. They will release their fourth quarter and full year 2022 financial results before the U.S. markets open on Tuesday, March 14th. So just about 2 weeks from now. That will be for the period ended December 31st. So that is really the first time we're going to get an actual look from a financial statement point at what their cost per coin is. So they did not mine for the full quarter. We still won't have a crystal clear picture of this, but this will be the first clarity we're going to get from a financial statement presentation standpoint. So if they are coming in anywhere in the neighborhood of that number, then their gross profit margin at these low Bitcoin numbers is going to be much, much better than their competitors. So that is the number one thing I'm going to be looking at for this company. This comes out March 14th. We'll be able to do the actual cost per coin calculation once we have the financial statements, and we'll see what it was in November and December of 2022. And then obviously we'll even get greater information when they release their first quarter 2023 results, because January, February, March will all be full months in 2023 of operation. So again, this is the number one thing I'm keeping my eye on for this company, because if they can come in anywhere near the cost they're talking about, that really puts them in a completely different gross profit level than all the other Bitcoin miners, particularly as Bitcoin is struggling at these lower numbers. If and when Bitcoin has a bull run and they're at 70,000 or 100,000, this is not going to matter as much. But at Bitcoin 18,000 or Bitcoin 23,000, this makes a big, big difference. Okay, the last part of this story is where do they go from here? Because they have a clear path to 6 exahash. They did not hit a lot of the milestones they were going to hit in 2022, but when they gave a revised plan, they did say that by the end of the first quarter of 2023, they would have 6 exahash up and running. This was in November of 2021 when Bitcoin was at its all-time high. Purchase agreements executed for mining rigs capable of generating up to 19.5 exahash, scheduled to be delivered in 2022. Well, really, by November of 2022, they were still very close to 0 exahash. So they were drastically off of that plan. That's one of the reasons the price of this stock did suffer. Obviously, all the Bitcoin miners have been beaten up over the last year and a half due to the decrease in the price of Bitcoin. Conversely, though, over the last 5 months, we've seen marked improvement in this company. So they are a drastically bigger company than they were 5 months ago. So if we take a look at how all this looks in the charts, you'll see from their all-time high in September of 2021, they are still down over 90%. The small cap high growth stocks were still in a boom at that point. This was a SPAC. At that point, they had not yet converted. So there were a lot of factors going on at that time that did make this probably a little bit overbought. It's still down about 85% from when Bitcoin hit its all-time high. So this stock has pulled back drastically. And again, at that point, this was a company that was mining 0 Bitcoin. If we look at Cypher on the one-day time frame, you'll see there's a green line here at around $2.67. That's where Cypher was trading last August of 2022, when Bitcoin was trading at around $25,000. So about a week ago, we did hit Bitcoin $25,000. We're a little bit below that now. We're between $1,000 and $2,000 below that, but we are back in that neighborhood. So, and we did hit that 5 out of 6 days in a row. But you can see Cypher, other than this one day where it had a gigantic spike up, they're still 77% lower than they were in August of 2022, and that is when Bitcoin was trading at $25,000. So Bitcoin has made its way basically all the way back to the same range, yet Cypher still has another 77% to the upside. And remember, in August of 2022, Cypher was mining 0 Bitcoin. So this was all potential and no reality. So they have now ramped up already to 5.2 exahash. They mined 398 Bitcoin in the month of February. That's going to put them in the top 5 Bitcoin miners in February. So they are now starting to realize their potential, but their stock has not gotten back to even where it was the last time Bitcoin was at $25,000. So for me, I do think, even though this is the 3rd largest market cap, there still is a lot of room to the upside. Having said that, obviously it's very dependent on the price of Bitcoin. So we're going to see which way Bitcoin goes. It looks like at the moment we've found some resistance at about $25,200. If they can break through that $25,200 point and start to move up from there, I would expect Cypher to get back to these highs from last August And, that's 77% to the upside, potentially higher. Having said that, I always like to point out this is always a risk-reward situation. If Bitcoin does not get healthy and for some reason we revisit 2022's lows, Cypher would go down 73% to revisit its lows from December of 2022. So that was really just a couple of months ago. So there's really a lot of room on either side of this for big moves. So again, this is not financial advice, so please be very careful investing. Overall, Cypher does seem to present themselves a little differently. Again, the number one thing I'm going to be looking for is when their financial statements come out to start to get a look at the actual financial results. What is their cost per Bitcoin from an electricity standpoint? If it's anywhere near where they say it is, then I do think that's a game changer for them. That's my update on Cypher for the month of February. Thanks again for watching. Remember to subscribe to the channel and smash the like button. Also, if you're interested, you can hit the join button and become a member of the channel. There's a lot of content there waiting for you, and we have a lot of great members. So we appreciate everybody's support, and thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.